Hello, welcome back to Pokemon Stadium, the Let's Play with Rambler. Right then, it is time for us to do the final cup of Stadium, and that is my favourite, the Prime Cup. Also, it's the final one because it took a long time to get a team of Pokemon together, but I have done so, and so let us bring it on. So this is the Ultimate Cup, level 100 Pokemon. You can have less than that, but you'll be at a serious disadvantage if you do. So we're going to go straight into it. Now, I've registered my set of Pokemon. So these are the people we're going to be using. I say people because I've named them after people, and two of my only two Patreon supporters. Thank you very much, Kitty Guardian and Yomi. You're most appreciative in terms of your support. Well, I'm most appreciative of your support. I can't speak properly today. I'm sober again. Right. With that said, our first trainer is Q-Ball, and he has a pretty rubbish team, to be honest, as well. Notice his nicknaming is just the names of the Pokemon, but in lowercase. We saw it before when he was the first trainer at Sabrina's gym, but it is what it is. So I think Ewan take care of the Growlithe, Charmander and the Weedle. He can probably handle the Paris and the Caterpie and the Magikarp as well. Yomi bringing up the rear, and then Mr. Tom to round things up.
It's finally underway. Pokemon Tournament Prime Cup Pokeball. Who will win it all in this wide-open, unlimited level?
Oh, I don't know, mate, but we'll find out. Well, I do know, it's going to be me. But I love this tournament. I like the arena, a swanky, posh sort of place, and I love the music. The music's great. Again, not much of an audience, but they're all in like an auditorium at the top, which is pretty impressive. Oh, he's retreating. Interesting.
Oh, it's Paris.
That's actually a fairly reasonable strategy. Don't know if it'll work, but it's fairly reasonable. Yeah. I mean, usually the first trainer of any tournament, well, Pokeball tier at least anyway, don't really give a toss. They just go for it and lose. But no, he was using strategy. That's a first. Hopefully, though, if Rock Slide hits, we should be able to take care of the Paris problem. Hey, there we go. So even though Paris would have been effective against Ewan, we were able to squash it, essentially.
We're waiting for the next Pokemon.
I'm guessing he might have a Charmander next. No, it's Magikarp, which again isn't really much of a threat because it knows no water moves. If you didn't know. So once again, we're just gonna go straight into it. Really, give him an Earthquake. There we go. See, we've had 3 successful critical hits in a row. See, Dugtrio doesn't have great attack stats or health or defense or much special, but it does have speed. And since critical hit chances are based on a Pokemon's base speed stat, it means Dugtrio has a fairly high critical rate chance. It's a risky ground Pokemon to use in Gen 1, but I thought why not? Bit of a challenge for us, and to be fair, I've never really used him before. At least at this stage of the tournament, he should be pretty straightforward. I mean, look at that. I've just realised he's called it Glowlith. Glowlith. It should be Growlithe, but it's not. He's called it Glowlith. I've never noticed that mistake before. I've never noticed that. Because seriously, all of his nicknames are just the names of the Pokemon in underscore. You know, like lowercase, even not underscore, lowercase. I've never seen that before. In all my years of playing it, it's the first time I've seen that mistake. I know it's not a revolutionary thing because it's been seen before, I imagine. But whatever, it's moving on to Rocket now for battle number 2. A little bit of a different team, but again, unified by the fact that 3 of them are weak to Ewan once again. So we'll pick Ewan. We'll have Kevin to bring up the Polyact and Omanact. Polyact 4, Omanact 5 to be specific. And then we'll have Yomi round up the entry there. Probably a one-sided one again. There we go. Again, I love that colour scheme of Omanact there. Pretty gnarly. Again, these trainers do have their own niche strategies. Q-Balls, I've never really known what it was. And Rockets, I'm not 100% sure of either. There's some of the strategies they adopt are the same as they are in the gym castle if you fight the trainer in question. But sometimes they do vary. Sometimes they change it up in the tournament. But I can't remember. I really legitimately cannot remember what his strategy is. Maybe he doesn't have one.
The Pokemon are entirely different types.
Yes, announcer. You have said that many times before, and you've usually been correct.
Whoa! Severe hit.
Probably won't take out Drowsact, but nope, didn't think so. Let's see what he's going to do. Disable! Okay. So he's going to try and...
That's disabled.
It failed. He was going to try and stop me from using one of my moves, but it is a fail. But never mind. We'll move on.
Savage attack.
I know I've been just using Ewan a lot so far. In this video, just Earthquake, 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 Earthquake. One Rock Slide, Earthquake, Earthquake, but... Again, I haven't really used Dugtrio that much. I must stress as well, for all the Pokemon that I'm using, I have done my best to max out their EVs. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to be the top of the the top of the pile, top of the cream, whatever you call it, Pokemon later on in the game. But certainly for this stage in the game, they should be more than sufficient. But I use the EV training method of. See, critical hit, super effective. Just he doesn't do a lot of damage on his own, but when he gets the critical hit, which is a good chunk of the time, it's worth a gamble. I use the EV tactic of, at least for this tournament and these Pokemon, I just rare candied them all up to 100 just to save myself time grinding the levels. Then gave them a bunch of HP ups, carbon, calcium, all that sort of stuff. And then after that, I went to the cave at the end of the game of Blue and Reds, where you find the Mewtwo, and just grinded for several hours for each one, basically, so that their EVs can go up higher and higher and higher, up to the maximum of whatever it is, like 65,000 or 6,500, one of those two. I'll pick Mr. Tom. He's got quite a variety of Pokemon, Judo Boy, but I think they all follow the Focus Energy gimmick. So again, I'll have Mr. Tom, Yomi, and Kevin. Yeah, go with that, see what happens. But I've evened them up as best as I can in terms of that strategy, because I did experiment doing it without rare candy. So in other words, just going from the lowest level possible of the Pokemon I caught, and then leveling them up by actually grinding away naturally and giving them the HPs and all that sort of stuff at the beginning of their birth. Beginning of their training. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then leveling them up to 100 naturally, as opposed to just using rare candies. And as you do that, they get EV points as you go along. But even with that method, at least for one Pokemon I did that for, I don't think, again, it's like the highest EV version of that Pokemon you can get. But I just followed some strategies I found on the internet. I could have done it completely wrong, and I apologise in advance if I have. I've just tried to make them as strong as I possibly can without, cheating. Outside of the missing number cheat, of course, to exploit the item glitches and that sort of thing. But hey, we'll see how we go. And again, I'm using some slightly different Pokemon, like Mr. Tom here. Just to add a bit of challenge for later on, and just see a bit of variety. Again, I'm using Pokemon I don't usually use, just to make it a bit interesting. I mean, this tournament, Poker Cup, Pokeball even, sorry, I'm all over the place today, isn't the most exciting because it's the easiest, so this is a bit of a cakewalk. But we've got to get it done. You can always, if you haven't already, skip the video, which some of you probably will have done. Once I've completed this LP, you've already skipped ahead to the Great Ball or Ultra Ball. That's fine, or even the Master Ball. But for me, I'm doing a tier per video. Makes sense. Yeah, so Judo Boy's strategy is to use Focus Energy, which I said before at the Gym Leader Castle when we versed Judo Boy. I don't know if they fixed the glitch that they had in Red and Blue, where rather than increase the chance of you getting a critical hit, it actually reduces it. It does the opposite of what it's meant to do. I don't know if they fixed it for Pokemon Stadium 1. I really don't. I know they did for Gen 2 and Stadium 2 and all that, but I don't know at Pokemon Stadium's level. I don't know. Again, it might be a Bulbapedia. I haven't checked yet. Maybe I will check later, or maybe you guys and girls can let me know in the comment section. It doesn't matter. The point being is that it's a useless strategy at this point. So that being said, we're on to the 4th trainer. Oh, got to check my recording in a bit as well. This is the Gambler, which you no longer see anymore because of the connotations of a gambler is too much for children to handle. Yeah, I'll leave it up to you whether you stand or where you stand with that. But either way, I'll just check the recorder's good, okay, and we'll carry on and we'll pick a team. Back in a sec. Okay, so he's got Geodude, Magma, Seal, Goldeen, Krabby, and a Nidoran male. As you can sort of see, they've just sort of swapped around the first half, the prefix and suffix of each Pokemon's names, and just basically reversed them. But Geodude, he didn't. They just called him Duggio instead of Dude Geo. They called it Duggio. Don't know why. It could have fit the character a little bit in, maybe, or maybe it couldn't. I've no idea. But either way, let's stop dithering and dallying. He's got three Pokemon weak to electric, so we'll have Kevin out to change things up a bit. Then we'll follow on with Sarah, and then Ewan to round things up. Music changes up now. This is quite funky music. So yeah, the Gambler trainer. I think I don't know if he was in Gen 2 or not. I think he was got rid of very early because of the negative connotations of gambling to kids who were playing the game. Obviously, the game was meant to be family friendly. Hey, it itself. Woohoo! There is a reason why I did that, because I thought you might retreat and change to Geodude. He might still do. I've pressed the wrong button. I was meant to pick Thunderbolt and I picked Thunderwave. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, they got rid of Gamblers. I think they changed the names of them. I just don't know when, whether it was Gen 2 or Gen 3. And they also got rid of, in the Game Boy games as well, they got rid of the game corners. And that, bloody hell, got a critical hit on Kevin. He's not going to be too happy about that. Look at all three of those eyes. Those are pissed eyes. The gambling corners or the gambling centres are in the games, but they got rid of the actual use the slot machines aspect and getting coins and stuff like that. I don't know which gen they did that on, but if you play, say, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which are basically remakes of Yellow, even though you can go to the game corner as part of the story of the original games, you can't gamble in them. You can't even do anything. I don't know which gen they got rid of it, because again the people were complaining, or there was some sort of connotations that it was encouraged kids to gamble, which I can see. I can understand the logic, considering nowadays with gaming from some of the AAA giants like Activision, EA, Ubisoft, Take-Two, where a lot of their games now have microtransactions, and some of the sports games like FIFA from EA and 2K, NBA and all that stuff actually have gambling mechanics within them. Obviously, depends on what you define gambling as, but in my opinion they are, but whatever's. In my opinion they are, and they do get kids to actually gamble and spend money. And yet that's okay, they could appeal to 3-year-olds and up, but actually playing a game with fictional gambling, that is verboten. It makes no sense. I don't know, I honestly. Or corrupt. Bye, Else. Which I just realised is your nickname, Else. Gambler strategy isn't really defined at this stage, but later on he does develop a strategy which is a sort of gamble, and you'll see it later on. He's got the Pokemon to do it there. Some of you may know what it is, some of you might figure it out, others you'll just have to wait and see. But he does have a strategy, but he didn't really use it there. A, I didn't really give him much of a chance, and B, when I did with Goldeen, he didn't use it, which I thought he might, but like I said, it'll develop as we go along. Moving on to Cool Female. Not that difficult a team, but again, now that we're into the second half of the tournament, things start going up a notch. If I was just using basic Pokemon and rental Pokemon to make it a bit more challenging, yeah, we'd be struggling a bit. But having said that, we're not. So, Mr. Tom, I think, can take care of at least 5 of those Pokemon. Bring out the Yomi and Kitty Guard, why not? I haven't seen Kitty Guard yet. Kitty Guard will get a showing either in this tier or in a later tier. But Mr. Tom is just the best all-rounder for now, so we'll roll with him. And there it is, the horse ants. Right, Thunderbolt. Again, I'm trying to get this tier done as quickly as possible. Again, there's no real point really stretching it out. It's very straightforward. But at least you get to see the trainers and their Pokemon, and you know as the tiers go up, they're going to have similar Pokemon, some switches out, and then they're going to evolve and all that sort of stuff.
This is a wild one from the
But yeah, the Pokeball tier is always a bit of a, I wouldn't say a time waster, but it's really just to gently break you in. You know, which is fine. You know, it gives the game some flexibility, but you need to go through the tiers. You can't choose the tiers of your own choosing. You have to go through them. You know, easiest to hardest, which again is fine. But it would have been nice, perhaps, to have had a choice to choose which tiers you want to do. And if you want to jump straight to Master Ball tier and then beat it, you've covered it, if that makes sense. So, you know. But, hey, this was 1998 or 2000. I think it was 2000 when this came out in the UK or in the EU. Well, yeah, incidentally, I didn't really comment on this either. This isn't actually the first Pokemon Stadium game in the Pokemon Stadium series. This is actually Pokemon Stadium 2. The original Pokemon Stadium, or Pokemon Stadium 1, never came out in the US or in the EU/Power regions. It only was released in Japan. I think it was a complete game you can buy. I don't know if it was something to do with the 64 disc drive. I'm not sure. I think it is on a cartridge, but essentially it's basically a watered down version of this. It doesn't have all 151 Pokemon in it at the time. It only had, I don't know how many it had, not 151. And it's very primitive, but it has the same sort of graphics, same sort of style of gameplay. I don't know how complete it is, really. I know it got released, but either way, it isn't like, it hasn't got, I don't know how many tournaments or tiers it's got, but it's actually worth checking out because some of the Pokemon's animations were carried over into this one. But some of them were actually quite different in terms of the modelling and everything. Like Nidoking's modelling in the original Pokemon Stadium 1 is actually very different to the model they use in this one. It's worth checking out. Check some YouTube videos out on it. It's quite interesting. Anyway, sorry, completely ignored Bird Boy, who is the next trainer of the Prime Cup Pokeball. As you might have guessed, he has a few bird Pokemon since he's a bird boy. Yeah. Now, I don't think any of these Pokemon that they've got are fully EV'd, if EV'd at all, at this stage. Again, it's just a bit of a cakewalk, really. But for Bird Boy, he has a Ghastly. That is such a cool colour scheme. I love that colour scheme. The pinky tongue, pinky mouth. Very pinky. I think it goes well. I don't know why he has a Ghastly. I mean, if I think about the bird Pokemon in Gen 1, you had Pidgey, Spearow, the legendary birds, Doduo, and then obviously the, Dodrio, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, Fearow. Maybe that was it. Oh, Zubat technically is a flying type. Yeah, it's not many. That wasn't that many flying types. I've got a poster of all 151 Pokemon in front of me. I never consult it. But on a basic level, yeah, there isn't many flying types on a basic level. Oh, it's Farfetch'd, I guess. You could count Farfetch'd. Maybe later on in the tiers, I don't know.
There's a difference in the number of preserved Pokemon.
But evolved forms, yeah, there's a few more. But on a basic tier, not many to make a complete team. But hey ho, what am I complaining about? Nothing. Just an observation. Right.
The battle has become one-sided.
It has, but Kevin might. Yep, Kevin's not hit himself. I thought he did there.
It's doubly effective.
It is doubly or totally effective. I don't really know what he says there actually.
It's a one-hit wonder.
Oh well, bye Pidgegash. Sorry to ignore you there. It's just too easy. I could have made this a challenge. I could use rental Pokemon. I know. I'm not trying to show off and go, oh, I can play the game properly. Blah blah blah. I'm not doing that. I'm just playing it as I want to play it. But I just don't see the point in doing that. I just want to get it over and done with. The Great Ball is a bit more interesting. Ultra Ball's more interesting. Master Ball's more interesting. Pokeball tier. Just get through it and move on, basically. Right, we got Lab Ban with the Durshell, Pixville, Gelatin. Shouldn't you be in sweets? A Teeny Draw, a Sprouts Bell, and a Cool Tenter. I love these nicknames sometimes. Yeah, let's have Kitty Guardian. Let's get Kitty Guardian out for a bit. She's got some moves that can handle Gelatin, Sprout Bell, Pixville to a degree, maybe even Cool Tenter at a pinch. And then Sarah. We haven't seen Sarah yet. We'll have to make sure we get her out in the next battle. And Yomi as well, actually. I think the only Pokemon I've used so far is Ewan, Mr. Tom, and Kevin. That's it. So let's get a bit of variety towards the end. So he's going with the Durshell. Sticks his tongue out at me, which is quite fair of him. Usually I'd be like, oi, fuckface, but actually I like Durshell. Durshell's pretty cool. Let's go with Confuse Ray. I could retreat. Let's see what Kitty can do. It's confused! Oh, I like Shelder. Oh, he's going for Toxic, and he's going to use it.
Oh, Toxic!
Ooh.
The poison will slowly sap the strength.
Interesting. Right.
Just trading warning blows now.
They are. They are indeed. Right, I'm going to use Flamethrower because I want to see how much damage it'll do. I know it's not very effective, but let's just see. I got a critical hit, and that's embarrassing. That is very embarrassing for Durshell. I was not expecting that. I was at least expecting very low HP. I mean, if it wasn't a critical hit, it would have had probably 100 HP, if that. Okay, going for Cool Tenter, so he's sticking with his water types then, that's fine. Well, luckily for us, Cool Tenter is a water poison type, and we have a move that can do well against poison, so Kitty Guardian, would you please do the honours? Very good, very good. I'm not sure how she keeps her tails clean there, but hey-ho. Or he even, sorry Kitty. Why do I always get your gender wrong? I've no idea, I'm so sorry. He even, bless him. But either way, he's going to now arise from the dirt. Oh, straight in the ball sack, if Cool Tenter has one. And there we go, so that's Cool Tenter taken care of. Look at his fleshy tails. Ooh, it's very nice tails. And we're going for Pixville. Hey, Pixville. This is what you'll grow up to if you train really hard. Although your trainer gives you a Firestone, I believe.
The battle has become one-sided.
It has indeed, because we're now going to use the same strategy once again. It does indeed. So I like the fact the tails, that you can see them glitching through the floor. Oh, Fire Spin. See what I mean? They do amp up their strategy. So even if Fire Spin would do bugger all for us, because it traps us, and with the Toxic strategy, you see what Labman's strategy is? Toxic, Fire Spin, Poison gets worse, Trap, can't do anything. All you have to do there is just switch out, really. And wait for him to miss. By the way, we took care of it. But like I said, they start stepping up. Yeah, it's still Pokeball, but they are stepping up their strategies. So again, if we just use basic Pokemon for a challenge, might be a bit tougher. Might be a bit tougher. Excellent. Right, I've left the video recording for a little bit too long there. I'm going to check it's recording okay, and we'll get on to the final battle. So back in a moment. Yeah, the other reason why I keep interrupting the recordings is because if I do leave it on for too long, even if I don't suddenly get a drop in frames or some sort of interference that messes up the recording at that point, there is a bit of lag if you let the video record too long between commentary and video, so usually you can control the lag by splitting the video up into little sections. So that's another reason why I do all the interruptions. But anyway, the dreaded cool male trainer, he is such a bastard. Yeah, like I said, hardest trainer in Gym Leader Tower in my opinion anyway. Next to Psychic. Psychic's probably the other one. Now you can see it's ramping up a notch. He's got a Flare Store. There you go, and a Licky Store. So slight step up there, but other than that, good choice of team really. But it is what it is. So Yomi is going to take a point, then Sarah, and then Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom should be able to deal with it.
This is it, the final battle. Who will bask in the glory of the championship?
I think we know. Always going for Licky Store to begin with. Okie dokes. Our first challenge, I guess. Right. Let's go for the Stomp. We're definitely going to be faster than Licky Store. And Taurus was very OP in Gen 1. I've said it before. You've got to be careful with Taurus. I've never really used Taurus, though. I just never did. I never really had much trouble with him when I used to play this game a lot as a kid, but I know sometimes I could catch her off guard. I never really used him, but he was very good. He had a very high critical hit ratio, good attack strength. He was definitely one of the... I don't know if he was like S tier or like A tier. He was in the top tier anyway, or like second from top. But hey ho. But anyway, he's confused now, so this could cause us some problems. It's causing us problems. Ah! It is indeed. What is Licky Store going to use next? He's going for the Screech. Okay, so he's going for the Confusion Screech strategy. So basically, this strategy, as you might have guessed or not guessed, but if you guess, you know, and I'll remind you. If you haven't, I'll tell you. Basically, when you hit yourself with Confusion, it counts as a physical hit. And therefore it's based on your attack stats. So if you lower the defense of the opponent's Pokemon and they hit themselves with Confusion, then they do more damage to themselves because it's an attack. It's a physical attack, so it relies on your defense stat to minimise the damage. At least in Stadium level, anyway. And you may have noticed as well that even though we use Double Edge there, in the Game Boy games it works properly. So if you use Double Edge and knock out a Pokemon, or Takedown, or whatever move, like Submission as well at Gen 1 that you get recall damage for. If you knock out a Pokemon in the Game Boy games, Red and Blue and Yellow, then you would take the recall damage as well. But in Stadium 1, if you knock out a Pokemon with Takedown, Double Edge, Submission, you don't actually get any recall damage. I just think they forgot to code it into the game. I don't know why they did. They fixed that in Stadium 2. But in Stadium... I think they did anyway in Stadium 2. But at least in Stadium 1, yeah, for some reason, you don't take recall damage. For God's sake, how am I still confused? See the slight increase in damage we took to ourselves there? Oh, blimey. Weird that Slow Store's using Strength and not Psychic. But probably because of the fact that we are... our defense stat has been lowered. So I'm going to replace Yomi with Sarah. Yomi, you've done your bit. Well done. Sorry for the confusion, pal.
The trainer's changing Pokemon.
But we'll be seeing more of you in the future. Don't you worry.
Oh, it's technical.
There we go. It's Sarah.
What's that?
But yeah, Taurus was a very OP Pokemon back in the day for, you know, exploitation of the speed stat, had a high critical hit chance, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, as you may have seen there, I don't know why, Double Edge Takedown Submission, if you knock out an opponent's Pokemon with it, you don't take recall damage. Even if the health is full, or the health's like really high and do a critical hit and it takes them out, it doesn't do it. Don't know why. But in the Game Boy games they did. So the one thing that the Game Boy games got programmed right, or one of the few things they did program right, for some reason Pokemon Stadium fucked up. Not complaining, makes it easier for me. So he didn't use his Flareon, which is an interesting observation. Don't know why he didn't. Way. That's surely gonna knock him out. Yeah. Bye, Meowstor. Meow. Oh, Sarah. There we go. So we got to see everybody in action. You know, why not? Hey, bit of variety there. But next, I mean, he did choose his Licky Store, I guess. But he didn't want to choose Flare Store either. Maybe he just thought my team wasn't worth it. I don't know. But either way, that is the Pokeball tier of the Prime Cup sorted. Great. That's the easiest bit done then. Very nice. I do like the Pokeball trophy though. I have to admit, I do like that trophy. I like that better than the other Pokeballs. Just because the Pokeball is so iconic. That's a very iconic trophy. Right then, so that's that then. So, yes, sorry for the most boring video in the world. But next time, we'll be going to be moving on to the Great Ball tier. and things will start to get a little bit more difficult. So can I say thank you very much for watching if you have done. If you have done. In fact, I'll give you a double thank you because you're very loyal. But either way, take it easy. Have a good one. Hope you're well. Stay safe in these troubled times. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye for now.